Hello everybody, it's Mr. H here. Today we're going to be making a TinkerCAD rocket, and this is going to be a video tutorial. Now this will count as a classwork grade, not as a project grade, but it's still worth a good chunk of your average, so you're definitely going to want to turn this in and turn it in on time. So I'll take you through the steps. Let's get into it. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring over our cylinder, and we're going to make that 100 millimeters tall. We are using the millimeter scale. If you haven't changed over from the inches scale, you can go ahead and click settings and make sure that it says millimeters and make that your default, and because we don't want to use inches at this point. So we're going to click the middle white square, and we're going to type in 100. We're going to make this a 100 millimeter tall body. And we're going to change the sides. Right now it's 20 sides making up this cylinder. We're going to make it 64. It just makes it a little bit smoother and looks better to me, in my opinion. Okay, if we want to go ahead and change the color, I'm going to go ahead and change mine to white. And now we're going to look for the other two components. So we're going to be using a fin, and we're also going to be using the nose cone called the O-Give. If you don't have those, you're going to do a search in the search bar, and the first thing you'll do is type in OGIVE, and that will bring up this. You can see that I favorited it. That's why it's a gold star, and I'm going to just click and drag that over. And then I'm also going to do a search for NACA, N-A-C-A, and that will give us the fin that we're going to use, and you can see again that I've also favorited that. So I'm going to drag that over to the work plane, and then I can X this out, and that'll bring us back to the basic shapes. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is, now that I have the objects in, we're going to change the color of the nose cone. I'm going to go ahead and make that red, and then I'm going to change the fin to blue. It doesn't matter what colors you use. You can choose whatever color you want. So now I'm going to place the nose cone on top of the cylinder. The way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to grab the work plane tool. I'm going to drag the work plane and put the work plane on top of my cylinder. And with the nose cone selected already, I'm going to hit D on my keyboard. And that's going to allow the nose cone to come up to the perfect level for my cylinder. I'm going to go ahead and drag the work plane back down to the bottom. And now, when I bring this over, it's automatically at the height we need it. Okay, and rather than trying to align it perfectly, we're just going to get it close. We'll leave it right there for now, and then we're going to align everything together when we're finished. Okay, so let's concentrate on the fins now at this point. Okay, so the fins, first thing we need to do is we need to rotate it to the right 90 degrees. So there's 90. And now we're going to use Control D, or the duplicate button, which is located up here on the toolbar. You can see copy, paste, and duplicate are all there in case something is not working on your keyboard. But we're going to Control D, which just made a duplicate copy. We're going to hit M on our keyboard, which will give us the mirroring tool, and we're going to turn the duplicated fin side to side. And now I'm going to use the arrows on my keyboard to first butt these up against each other, and then I'm going to space this out about 15 millimeters. Now, how do I know where 15 millimeters is? Well, 15 millimeters would be 10 millimeters is this big box right here, and then about half of that would be 15. In reality, I think actually 20 might look okay. So 20 would be right about here, and if that turns out to be not good, then we can always bring it in closer. But that looks good to me. So 20 millimeters is going to be the number. So we're going to go ahead and draw a box around both of these. And I'm going to group that. So I'm going to use Control G on my keyboard to group. And now I'm going to use Control D to duplicate. And I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees. Okay, and let's look at it from the top view. And you can see now that they are all equally spaced, and it's completely symmetrical. Okay, so we're going to draw a box around all four of those fins and Control G again. So now we have a set of fins that are all movable at the same time. And now we can get this close to the rocket, just like we did the nose cone before. We back out from the view so that we could select all the objects on here. If we use L on our keyboard, or we hit the um, alignment button right here, we can go ahead and align it with this middle black dot here and this middle black dot here. Now we want to be careful because we don't want to use the middle black dot here, because watch what happens. Everything will get pushed together. So we only are going to align it from the bottom and from the side. Once we have everything aligned, we can go ahead and Control G again to group it. Now when we group it, it's going to change everything to be the same color. So of course we're going to go over to the color and we're going to select multicolor, and that will bring us back to our original colors. And when we move it, everything is still together. The colors remain the same. Now here's something, if you wanted to change the colors of something, let's say you didn't like the colors that you have, but you already have the rocket grouped, rather than having to ungroup it, what you can do is double click on the object. You'll see a red square show up on the work plane. Now if I click on any one of these objects here, I can go ahead and change the color. So I'm just going to click once on the nose cone, and that'll allow me to change the color to a different color without having to ungroup and regroup things. And when we click off of it, we move it and it's still grouped. Okay, so there's a little shortcut that might help you out now or in the future, but I hope this video tutorial helped. If you have any questions, you can of course ask me in class or send me a message on Google Classroom or shoot me an email. With that, I wish everybody a great day and see you soon.